Okay, so a single leg lying hamstring curl. Great exercise to isolate the hamstrings. Most times you'll see people in the gym doing this with both legs at the same time simultaneously. I'll demonstrate that. I have another video on how to do that lying down, but this one is dedicated to doing one leg at a time. Okay? So what I want to do first is I want to go over the form. You want to lay down flat on this bench. And throughout the entire set, you want to stay as flat on the bench as you possibly can. All right, that's your goal. Stay as flat on the bench as you can. Because if not, what's going to happen is you're going to be trying to use your hip flexors to elevate the working apparatus down here rather than just your hamstrings. You want to really isolate the hamstrings. So if you find that happening, take some weight off and really focus on the hamstrings. Another thing I want you to do, Q, is to point your toes. When I point my toes, what I do is I disengage the big calf muscle, the gastrocnemius, which is one of two main calf muscles. It's the only one of the two that crosses the knee joint. So technically, in this motion, if I've got my toe pulled into my shin like this, then what's happening is the gastrocnemius is also assisting the hamstring. I don't want that. I want to isolate the hamstring, okay? So here's what it looks like. You want to get in the machine, and you want to make sure that your knees, your kneecap, when you're lying down, is, so this is the center of this roller, okay? It wants to be on the back side of the roller. You don't want the kneecap on it or in front of it. That's too much pressure, okay? You want the bottom of the quadriceps here, right before it crosses the kneecap to take the pressure, all right? So you're going to lay down in that position. You're going to point your toes. Now if I'm doing both legs at the same time, I'm just curling up as close as I can to my butt like this, and then coming down. Breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. Here's what you don't want to do. Here's what I was saying. Trying to use your hip flexors to help you up is when you start bending like this. You see yourself up, trying to bring it up like that. Okay? You don't want to do that. All right? So that's the proper movement. Now, I'm just going to take one leg out entirely, and we're going to focus on one leg at a time. You're going to see me point my toes for a while, but then I'm going to actually curl them because they're going to fatigue to the point where I actually start needing to involve the gastrocnemius. That's kind of it's a bit of a trick I use to keep time under tension because the hamstring's still being used, so I get a longer set that way. Okay, so here we go. Okay, I have to start pulling the toe back now. Okay, so I got 10 on that side. We're going to go right away into the other side and try for the same number of reps. Okay, same thing was happening about the fifth rep. I have to curl the toe in. That's good news. Failed on 10 on both sides. So, single leg hamstring curl. I've discovered that my hamstrings are pretty much at equal strength. Okay? So there you go. Remember, toe pointed for as long as you can. Don't let your midsection come off the seat, otherwise you're using your hip flexors. You really want to isolate those hamstrings. Okay? So single leg lying hamstring curl.